What's going on, guys? Welcome to your motivation show. I am your motivation guy, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. You know, you can be the greatest gamer ever, but if you can't overcome the battle to stress, by the time you compete, you're carrying this burden. You're not gonna be able to show what you can do, right? Let me ask you this, how many esports players are out there that get into a tournament of any kind and are never able to really play to their full potential due to stress? If this is you guys, I want you to be encouraged right now because I have a special guest that's gonna join me that specializes in teaching people how to relax before they game so that you and I can reach our full potential. Are you guys ready for this? Let's get this going. All right, guys, come on in. So excited because, so many of us deal with stress. Who's dealing with stress right now? If we can be honest, when it comes to gaming, it's almost like you can't fully commit. You can't fully, execute to your full potential, no matter how many hours you put in each week, practicing on your craft, practicing on strategy, practicing on mechanics. When you get in game, all of a sudden you begin to stress out. You overthink it. And then it's almost like all your skills go down the drain. And I know what it's like because I have definitely been there. A stress gamer is not a happy gamer. A stress gamer is not a smart gamer. And a stress gamer is not a competitive gamer. And so I'm so excited to bring someone on today that's gonna really, connect with me, and I'm gonna be able to connect with them, and we're gonna be able to help these callers that we have on today, and we're going to be able to help you with your issues and your problems so you can reach your maximum full potential. Are you guys ready for this? I know I am. So ladies and gentlemen, coming on your motivation show as my guest today, we have the one and only Brandon Curtis. I'm so excited to have him on. Brandon is the founder of the Lifeguard Shorts, a virtual school for stress relief. Brandon is a yoga and meditation instructor certified in psychological first aid through Johns Hopkins. So excited to have Brandon on the show. How you doing, sir?
Keith Allen, thank you for having me here again. It's good to see you. It's good to hear you again.
It's great to hear you as well. Thanks so much for joining us. So, Brandon, we're going to get into this. I know we have a couple of callers that we're going to talk to that I'm really, really excited to really just hear their story and see how you and I can help them today. There's so many gamers that, they are losing the battle to stress. But before we even get into that, can you just kind of tell us a little bit about your background and how you specialize in what we're talking about today?
Of course, yeah. I'm excited to even cover this topic because at the center of gaming is learning. We're in a constant learning experience. And at the center of learning is the stress response and the nervous system. We can't learn without stress. So the key is to manage that stress so that we can move forward in a way where we're in control.
That's amazing. That's good advice.
So for the last 14 years, I've worked in helping businesses understand the mechanics of behavior so that we can get the most from ourselves and each other. I started this with Facebook, went on to Red Bull, New York Times, Spotify, Sony, Adidas. And then last year, I stepped away to just focus full time on helping individuals understand themselves.
Wow, you are definitely experienced, and resume is definitely off the charts, and I'm so excited that you can join us today. One of the things that you said that really caught my attention and resonated with me right now is that you said that when it comes to learning, there is some level of stress that is always connected to that. Can you elaborate more on that?
Yes. So as we are doing anything, we're learning about what we call duration, path, and outcome. Those are the three things our brains are always looking for. And there's a neurochemical system involved in learning where we release a chemical called acetylcholine. That triggers neurons to fire in a new pattern so that the next time we come across something we've done before, we know how to do it. Now, before we know what to do, we're going to feel agitated because that's a part of the learning process. That's before the acetylcholine. So it's very normal. And one thing that we just need to do is see it not as a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like when we feel that frustration, know that our bodies are showing up with superpowers to help take care of us so that we can do our very best.
That's awesome. You know, I know a lot of gamers, including myself, but, you know, I've struggled with this for years. You know, we have such high expectations for ourselves. And I feel like, you know, we criticize ourselves. We are our harshest critic. We judge ourselves. You know, we get overwhelmed. We come to a conclusion about ourselves that we're not good enough because we start to stress. And it's so encouraging to know the reason why we're stressing is because, you know, there's a part of that where it's because we're learning. What are some tips that we can kind of calm ourselves and not come to a conclusion and just give up on ourselves so easily?
So the number one would be to just realize what's happening.
Yeah.
To your point, we are our own worst critic. And if we're dogging on ourselves, we're not going to feel good. And it's not the stress that's making us feel bad. It's that inner voice that says not good enough, should have done better.
Yep.
And so I like to tell people, take a look at that inner voice. And if you wouldn't be comfortable watching a parent talk to their child like that, you shouldn't be talking to yourself that way either. And to also then just see that stress response is like backup. And just by knowing that it's part of the game, we react to it differently.
I love that advice. And I love what you said about like, you're not gonna, when we view other people talking to other people a certain way, I mean, it convicts us, you know, there's a conviction, it breaks our heart, you know, it alarms us. And we should have that same level, you know, of the feeling towards ourselves when we do it to ourselves. And I feel like it's so much easier to love everyone else, but we neglect to love ourselves. And that speaks a lot. I think people just need to be more patient, you know, with themselves. We need to love ourselves more, and we need to learn how to enjoy the journey, you know? So we're gonna have our caller come on, we're gonna hear their story, and as we hear their story, we're gonna help them. Brandon's gonna give some great wisdom to their situation that all of us can apply to our lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to give it up for William joining your motivation show. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on the show, man.
Man, we are so excited to have you, bro. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you from, and, you know, like the game that you really love to play.
Well, I'm in California, and right now, currently addicted to Fortnite. Playing Fortnite. And
All right, so let me ask you this, man. Are you a part of the Bunch of Crunch army or what?
yeah, but the thing is, I've never had Bunch of Crunch in my life. I've never ate it before.
Bro, you're in California.
I've never seen it. Like, I've never seen it. I've wanted to, but I can't find it.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you have any CVS's around you or any Walmarts?
Oh, yeah, I have a CVS and a Walmart pretty
All
close to me.
right, they sell them there.
Okay, I'll be
All
sure
right,
to go.
so we're gonna do an update, and the update is I wanna see some Bunch of Crunch in your room, all right?
Okay.
All right, you're missing out, man. You're missing out. I'm telling you, don't believe me, you're missing out. All right, so we got Brandon on the line, man. Tell us a little bit about your story and, you know, how stress has kind of just taken a toll on you, you know, when it comes to, you know, playing Fortnite.
Well, I think that, like, I have this issue where, like, sometimes, like, I want to play, but I don't at the same time because it's, like, just sometimes it feels like I'd rather just bite my nails out than get on the game, but I feel like I have to because if I don't, then my skill is gonna go down, and then I'm gonna like perform worse, and then it's gonna be a setback for me. Like, I'm gonna place worse in tournaments, and then it's gonna make me even more demotivated, and then it's just gonna create a snowball effect, and it just keep happening.
So how can Brandon help you?
I think that I just need like more motivation to keep going.
I hear you. So here's what I'm noticing already. you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and this is going to be extra exhausting. We don't think about our own emotions being a drain, but they're one of the most, the biggest places in our lives where we are losing our energy. And so I would invite you to think about what's the worst that happens truly in the whole gamut of life if you give yourself more of a break sometimes. And if you don't feel like playing, to go out and do something else and then come back later when you're refreshed. I think you're just putting far too much pressure on yourself.
How do you feel about that? Well,
that was very well said. Very well said.
I'm curious, are you the type of person who outside of Fortnite also puts a lot of stress and pressure on yourself for whatever you're doing?
Yeah, like I try my best and to get good grades in school to satisfy my parents.
Yeah, I can feel that from you. And so we just need to find that balance, because putting that motivation into, getting good grades, to pushing ourselves to be the best version of ourselves is wonderful. But we need to hit the gas pedal and the brakes. We need to make some time to recharge ourselves, just like we have to recharge our phones every day, and know that the game will have no impact on how much your parents love you, how much your friends love you. And just keeping it a little bit real, I think, would be nice for you.
Yeah. William, and this is for everybody else who's watching, you can have like the dopest looking, sickest looking car in the world, right? But if there's no gasoline, right? And I'm talking about gas cars, because I know we have electric cars now. Or if you do have electric cars not charged, it's not going to go anywhere. And so, what Brandon is saying to you, Will, is I feel, I agree. It's almost like you've been running on empty. You've been running on E. And it's good to take breaks. It's good to fill yourself up, with some different types of mental food, that you need, food for the soul, to really, really take your mind off of things and allow you to relax. And then you'll be charged up. And then the next time you game, man, your mind is gonna be so much more clear. You're gonna have so many much more, sound thinking and sound thoughts. And I'm telling you, it's gonna really help you be even more successful. So I couldn't agree even more. So how do you feel about that, Will?
Thank you. That's what I need to hear.
What's your goals? What's your vision? Where do you see yourself going? In gaming.
Like my dream is to be a competitive player in Fortnite for an organization.
Right. And what are the steps that you are taking to go in that direction?
Well, I mean, I do VOD review like quite a bit, and I practice. I aim train, and I feel like one thing is I feel like I need to work on just some of my weaknesses, and I need to just sharpen my weaknesses, because sometimes I feel like I want to work on something, but I just don't feel like it. So then like my weakness just stays my weakness, and I can't get better at it because like I can't find the motivation to work on that. So I just end up like just freewheeling and creative or doing something just to kill time instead of actually effectively practicing.
Interesting. And you said sometimes you just don't feel like it. Brandon, how do you think, this plays into stress or, the pressure that you were talking about?
This is a complicated one to tackle.
Yeah.
And we could talk about this through a lot of different angles. One thing that I feel we owe it to ourselves to admit is, games were designed to be fun.
Sure.
They were designed for us to play together. And they're also, as they get more advanced, they're certainly designed to become more addictive as well. And so we need to be prepared to look out for our best interest by making sure that our health is the number one priority. And if it's no longer play for you, maybe I would sit with that. I would, write about that and look at that relationship that you're having and make sure that it is a healthy one that you want. Because you should never be doing something that you are dreading. You said you'd rather like bite your fingernails off. And so I think that that's probably, a nice clue that maybe there's some other areas. And Alan, you've spoken to this before. There's probably some other areas in your life where maybe bringing some balance to it, some more focus might help everything feel more balanced.
It's so good. So good. We had a pro on this show last week, Lo Sampa, and one of the things that he said that really, really was a staple in his life, that really drove him from just being ordinary to extraordinary, that really, influenced him and impacted him to become a pro, was his love for the game. I mean, that's all he kept talking about, is how much he loved the game. And the love of the game got him through so many trials and tribulations. And, what Brandon is saying is so key to all you guys who are watching, to myself included, is that we can't forget why we're playing this game in the first place. It's because it was the love that drove us to the game, and it's going to be that love that sustains us. So I do encourage you, Will, to really, really find that love again, for this, that, this is, again, if you're not having fun, man, honestly, what's the point? What's the point, And so I think getting back to that, but I think what's going to help with you having fun is what Brandon alluded to, which was, man, have some balance in your life, take breaks, try to do some other things as well. And I'm telling you, I believe that your love and your passion for the game will come back.
Okay. Yeah, keep it balanced just to avoid the burnout of putting all the focus in one place,
All right, man. Well, I hope you feel, more encouraged now to keep going and, to keep grinding in what you're doing. And I believe if you just add this balance and you do some of the things that Brandon was talking about. I mean, do you exercise at all?
Yes, I do exercise.
What do you do?
I have a trampoline in my backyard, so I do
trampoline. Wow.
Once in a while.
Okay. So when you go on the trampoline, what do you do on the trampoline?
Just listen to music and think about things that help me calm down and help me relieve stress. Nice.
Well, I would definitely too. I mean, if you can do some push-ups or sit-ups or, some other things like that, maybe running a little bit, that will definitely help as well. And, keep drinking, a lot of water, and really, honestly, all the tips that Brandon gave us today. So you could definitely utilize that for yourself. Well, William, thank you so much for coming on your motivation show. And man, it was an honor.
Thank you for having me.
All right, brother. And next time, I want to see you eating some bunch of crunch. All right?
All right.
All right, bro.
All right, see you.
All right, peace. Wow, great call. And, right off the bat, Brandon, I'm so, grateful that you obviously you picked up on, some of the things that were going on in his life that has kind of been a stimulus for the stress, coming up really, really soon. I know a lot of people, they practice, they grind, they work on all their skills when it comes to the game that they play, and then they hop into a tournament. And all of a sudden, there's money on the line, there's placements on the line, and they just start freaking out as soon as the game starts. Do you have any tips on how we can kind of unwind and relax prior to that moment?
There's a lot to tackle here. I do have a lot of tips. So let me start. I'll give you 5 things we should just always be taking care of so that we show up as our best selves. Is that okay?
I love 5 things. I love it.
Okay, so then the first thing is we have to prioritize our sleep. And it's more than just 8 hours. It needs to be a quality 8 hours. And some people may have heard about blue light or looking at a screen before sleep. We need to limit screen time 2 hours before bed, or wear blue blocking sunglasses. If we don't, our brains don't produce melatonin for us to actually get the deep rest to repair the circuitry that was changing during that learning process. So deep sleep is my number one.
So that's the reason why I'm not getting good sleep. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, you just saw that. You said blue lighting sunglasses? What's that?
So you can buy blue blocker sunglasses now almost, anywhere that sells stuff online. Also on our phones, there are settings to shift away from blue light automatically in the evening. Everyone should have that turned on.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay. So that's number one. Number two is that 2020 has been difficult for all of us, right?
Ooh,
and
preach it.
The brain is a prediction machine because it does not know what to predict. It's exhausted. And so I like to recommend that we limit our news consumption to just 15 minutes a day right now, because news has evolved and it gets more clicks the more emotionally triggering it is. So 15 minutes keeps us informed, but we're not falling victim to only looking at what's not working.
I love that. Because we're carrying stress, and subconsciously it's like we don't even know why. So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. And because when we have those emotional reactions, that depletes us. We feel exhausted all day, and then we don't have the emotional bandwidth to stay in the game when we need to be. So 15 minutes or less. Number three is to actually stay really hydrated, because water lowers inflammation. We don't think about this. It's so below the surface, but everyone should just have a big bottle of water they take with them everywhere.
Water, check.
Number four is choose a workout or a movement that you can do almost every day. It can be as little as 15 minutes, but when we're stressed, we're creating stress hormones like cortisol. Now, those are good because it helps give us energy when we're in the game and we need to be alert. However, because we're not moving our bodies like we did when we were out, surviving in the wild, those chemicals swirl inside of us. They need to move. And you don't need to buy like $2,000 worth of gym equipment. You can do push-ups. You can do jumping jacks.
Nice.
But we need to move every day.
Come on, guys. Let's get active. I love that, Brandon. Let's do some push-ups, man. Listen, everybody should at least be doing 30 to 50 push-ups. Try to do it every single morning. And yes, that will change your life for sure.
And then the fifth thing here is what we talked about before. Speaking kindly to ourselves, because if we are bullying ourselves, we're emotionally exhausted, we're depleted, and we can't perform at our best. So those are my top 5.
Bullying ourselves. Wow. Do you bully yourself? That is something that we all have to think about. We may not be bullying anyone else, but we are sure bullying ourselves. Wow. Moving on to our second caller. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Alexis joining your motivation show. Come on in.
Hello.
Alexis, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. We have Brandon on the line.
Hey, Alexis.
Hello.
So Alexis, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, and the game that you are probably the most passionate about.
So I'm from Pennsylvania. I just moved back last October from living in Australia for 8 years.
Wow.
I'm a mother of 2. I actually just had my daughter September 5th.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's been a long road for me and my husband trying to have children. It took, that was my 10th pregnancy. I had 7 miscarriages, and I had my first son. He was stillborn at 22 weeks.
Wow.
So that was really rough for us to get through all of that. But my first son, he's nearly 2 now. He was 2 months premature, so that was another journey of 35 days in the hospital. We were a hospital that was 6 hours away from home. It was rough. It was, but we got through it. We moved back here to the U.S. and, to be with family. And I actually found out I was pregnant 2 months after we moved back here.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm not ready for this yet. I thought it would take longer.
Yeah.
So we moved back, and that had, its stresses, getting insurance, all that stuff. And we had to get our things from Australia, like our computers and stuff. I was really sad because I missed out on all the league events at the end of the year, like the Karma Dawnbringer and the Soraka one. I missed out on all those, and like I'm a huge like skin collector, so that sucked. But I was really happy that prestigious center came out at the beginning of the year because I was like, yes, I'm getting that one at least. So I jumped back into league after like 6 months of not really being able to play it. I was super rusty. It was hard. I'm pretty sure my MMR was really bad. And then having a son who was just learning how to walk, pregnancy, all that stuff was really stressful. And then with the COVID outbreak, having to social distance from family and friends as well on top of that. So it was like, it was so much. But now, like, you know, I've got my 2 lovely kids who I love very much, but that comes with stresses. Being a parent is stressful. Being an adult is stressful. So it's just like, you know, league is like, it's, sorry?
No, I was gonna say, Alexis, so, wow. Brandon, I'm sure you have a lot to say on this one, like, on how you can help. It's a lot going on. But I want to just be a little more specific about, you know, as it pertains to, you know, this gaming and all of that what we're going through right now. I mean, it's a lot going on, and I want you to ask Brandon specifically, you know, like what exactly, you know, can we help you with today when it comes to stress?
So I get pretty overwhelmed pretty quickly. So you know, I could be, you know, like, okay, I'll play a ranked game when my son's having a nap. But my daughter might wake up screaming and crying, so I'm like, I'm holding her, and I'm trying to like focus as well, like to not screw myself. I'm only gold, so I'm trying to do the last little bit, climb the plat, and it's starting to negatively impact my games because I'm starting. I don't know. I feel like I don't think I tilt that easily, but I must be because I don't usually feed a lot, so I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a little bit stressed out during the games when other things around me are happening, and I don't really know how to like deal with that in the moment. Yeah. If that makes sense.
For sure. All right, Brandon.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Thank you for sharing all that. And I have to commend you for even being able to just like be a mom, you know, on its own. That carries so much stress, you know, being responsible for the lives of other humans. And so it makes sense that you would feel a lot of stress. And I'm glad that you are trying to find balance, you know, to make room for all the things in your life. And that time for you is also really important, no matter what that looks like. Since you do not have a lot of free time, it sounds like, I would recommend getting into breath work, because breath work is it's meditation for non-meditators, okay? And this is my go-to also, especially in 2020. And it's a skill that we all should have learned when we were younger, but we didn't get it. I want to tell you why it's helpful, and then I want to tell you how you can practice it, okay? So the reason it's helpful is because if we feel our breath, it grounds us into the present moment, which means we're not slipping into dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, okay? The breath is only here and now, and you can practice the breath no matter what you're doing, okay? By taking slower, deeper breaths, especially if you can do it through the nose, this is going to send a signal to your nervous system that you're okay. There might be a heck of a lot going on in your life, but you're not being chased by a bear. And so we need to control for you that fight or flight response to calm it down, tame it down, bring it back into the here and now. And so just by slowing the breath down, deep inhale into the belly rather than a surface level chest breath is going to tell your nervous system that you're better, you're more safe, you're okay, and it moves us out of our heads. So
Yep.
you can do this anytime. During the game, with the family, before bed, during breakfast. Tune into your breath as much as you can.
Okay. So will it also help with like relaxing to sleep? Because I know that's probably another reason why I'm having problems in my games is like having a newborn and not getting very much sleep. I have trouble
Completely.
falling asleep. Okay.
Yes, completely. And so there's a reason that from, natural childbirth to Olympic athletes to pro gamers to Navy SEALs, that breath work is foundational. It moves us out of our head. When we can't sleep, we're living in our thoughts. We're worried about tomorrow. We're dwelling on the past. So before bed, the breath work that you should do is really simple. Just pretend your inhale and your exhale are just an ocean wave moving in and out. Breathe in a way that you can hear yourself breathing, and just count 10 to 1 with those breaths. Start over and just keep going, and that'll pull you back into your body and away from the thoughts.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Good. I was actually trying to do it just then. And
Yeah, and it's like anything else. It's like going to the gym. We have to do it over and over to get the results. It's not a one and done thing. Practice it every day. We should always be tuning into feeling the breath while we're doing anything that we're doing. That's what keeps us grounded.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I've got anxiety as well, so that makes sense.
Yeah, and the other thing, for people who have experienced a lot of stress in the past, which it sounds like you have, we naturally take on a shallow chest breath, which keeps us in fight or flight. And so I tell my clients to remember, stop, drop, breathe. Stop what you're doing every once in a while. Drop from the chest down to a deep belly breath and just take 3 breaths in and out, nice and slow.
Wow.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Well, Alexis, we are just like Brandon said, we are so just proud of you. Like, you are a fighter. You are a warrior. You're amazing. You're an awesome mother. You're doing such a good job. And I'm sure you're inspiring so many people, because I mean, this is a common thing, to go through when, life is happening all around you. Your family is growing. There's so many factors that are happening in your life right now. And so to be able to game and to compete and be focused, it's hard to do. And so we're so glad that you had the opportunity to come on today, and we could hear, a little bit of your story.
Thank you. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity. I love this game. I love the community,
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Alexis. Any last words, Brandon?
I do just want to thank you all for having me on to talk about stress. It's at the center of the human experience. Life is not easy for any one of us, and it's a constant roller coaster. So the more we can educate people on the fact that, life is a challenge, and that's okay, and we're all doing the best we can, the easier it gets for all of us.
Yes.
Committing to the reality of it.
Awesome. All right, Alexis, thank you so much for coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Ooh, wow. That was just, I mean, it's mind-boggling to know that, we have people that have so much going on in their lives, and they still keep their passion, to game like they do. And so I hope you guys were inspired today that no matter what you're going through, man, there is a way that you can overcome stress. Once again, to limit stress in your life, especially before you game, sleep is imperative. Guys, I know we're on our phones. I know we're watching, Netflix and on YouTube at all hours of the night, and, gaming all hours of the night, but we need our sleep. That is so huge. And the second tip, the news.
Limiting news.
The news. Limiting the amount of time that we do listen to the news. Obviously, like you said, 2020. I mean, what has not happened in 2020? My God. And the third tip, if you can remind me.
Staying really, really, really hydrated.
Yes, drink a lot of water. Drink a lot of water, so important. And then the fourth tip.
We have our movement, just to release those stress hormones that are circulating during and after the game.
Yes, and the fifth tip, I definitely remember this. Stop bullying yourselves. Okay, I'm excited right now because we are going to answer your questions in the chat, all right? So spit them out, come on, let it come to us because we're gonna get down to the bottom of it and help you guys out with your situation. So wherever you are, ask him right now, and yeah, we're gonna help you guys out. So we're gonna take a beat, and we're gonna get into this thing. Bunch of Crunch Army, where you at? Your motivation guy is back. I'm gonna be answering your questions. Having some technical difficulties with Brandon, so I'm just gonna go ahead and answer you guys in the chat. So let's go, man. Let's get this going. So Thunder, he said, you know, sometimes I can't sleep because I'm so stressed. How do I fix that? Well, first of all, let me see you guys in the chat right now. Like, who has been struggling with sleep? Who's been struggling, like sleeping at night? Maybe you're gaming all night and you know you can't go to sleep, and you know, and then it messes you up during the day because now you lack energy. You know, you're not able to focus. You know, if you're in school, you're not able to focus. Whatever you're doing, you lose concentration because you're not getting the proper sleep. And so I love what Brandon said. You know, something that I need to do as well. Take this out. I don't need that anymore. I love what Brandon said. You know, one of the things he said, you know, reduce the screen time before you sleep. You know, sometimes, you know, because we're just so glued to our screens, you know, that actually can affect us being able to actually go to sleep. You know, I think exercise is great. Sometimes we can't go to sleep because we have so much bottled up energy. So, you know, sometimes do a workout. Like, do a workout before you go to sleep. I know it sounds like crazy, I mean, to get all sweaty and stuff, but I just mean, you know, sometimes, man, maybe do some jumping jacks, just do something to kind of get your body feeling a little tired, and that should definitely help. All right, Phantom 221, KA, I get nervous during tournaments. Any tips? Who gets nervous in big moments? Who has experienced anxiety, you know, prior to a tournament, or you get into a big match or something, and then all of a sudden, man, you just start panicking? Well, the first thing that I want to tell you is mostly everybody gets nervous, you know, in tournaments, in games. So just know that you're not the only one that's getting off the bus, man, that's feeling some nerves. Other people are as well. And so another thing too is I really, because I've struggled with this as well. You know, I think it really comes to just putting yourself in stress situations over and over again. You know, I think it really just comes with experience. I think the more experience that you get when you're in these big moments, in these tournaments, when things are on the line, you know, I think the more you do it, the more comfortable that you actually get in those situations. So I encourage you, don't freak out, don't panic, don't come to a conclusion about yourself, guys. Don't label yourself as a person who gets nervous and gets anxious. And you know, when you get into these moments, just know that you're still experiencing the journey. You know, you're still experiencing this entire thing, and it's cool, man. Like, we're all growing. So be encouraged, guys. Don't freak out. All right. All right, Phantom, keep going. Left Coaster. Hey, Keith Allen, big fan. Thanks for what you do. That's all I just wanted to say. All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for that. Means so much. Means so much. Thank you, guys. Love you guys so much. You know, I do what I do because I love you guys. And, you know, I don't have to, you know, be motivating. You know, when I started, you know, to have the opportunity to be a part of Pro Guides, like, they didn't say, oh, you have to be motivating. Like, I do this because this is just what's in my heart. Like, I really believe in you guys. I really, really do. So, Ryan Guy 0117. First of all, Ryan Guy, welcome back. I know you've done pretty well in some of our Fortnite battlegrounds. Guys, get involved in the Fortnite battlegrounds that we're doing it, man. We're doing it once a month because we're having this platform for you guys. A lot of you guys are talented, like you guys like are stars. And you guys are like some of the stars that the world does not know about. So let this be your opportunity. Take advantage of our platform, get involved in our tournaments. And man, we just want to showcase like you guys to the world. Ryan Guy, I'm always super stressed because my mom is always yelling at me. Is anybody else going through that? Is anybody else going through stress from family, siblings, people, at your house, well, first of all, like I relate, I can relate. I didn't really have the best relationship with my mom growing up. My parents worked, they got home and they were tired and they were exhausted. And, I didn't really get it back then, but I get it now. Now that I've grown up, I kind of get why my mom was feeling the way she was all the time and feeling tensed, and one of the things that I do wish I could have been more with my mom was to be there like in the moment. Like I always had expectations on her, on my father. And I wish I could have been more of like a child where I was able to be like, hey, like, how can I help you guys? Like, you guys do so much for me. Like, what can I do to kind of, help you guys relax? And Ryan, that's what I want you to do. I know your mom is yelling at you, but you don't know what she's going through. You don't know the pressure that she's dealing with, trying to provide for you and trying to make your life better. So I would definitely do that. And guys, I want you guys to do that as well. Talk to your parents, how can I help you? I know kids, like, that's the last thing, on kids' minds, but your parents are humans, they're going through stuff too. So ask them how you can help. And I guarantee you, as you begin to do that, she's not going to be yelling as much, and it's a win-win for everybody. Now the stress has decreased in your life as well, and everybody's happy. So definitely do that. Guys, keep eating that Bunch of Crunch. I want you guys to keep going. You guys also know, man, when we reach 1 million subscribers on this channel, we're gonna release a story of how your motivation guy made it to where I'm at today. So definitely do that. And I do wanna make this announcement as well. Next week, we are gonna be taking the week off. We are planning to take this show to the next level. I'm so excited about Your Motivation Show. It has so much great potential. We have such a great crew that's behind the scenes, man, that's really working on this every day. And we want to take it to the next level. So what we want you guys to do is we want you guys to leave ideas, of topics that we can go over, things that we can talk about in the chat. The information will be there. So just leave that. We're going to have the YouTube link for that as well, but definitely, man, leave us your ideas because we want to help you guys. We want to help you with your mentality because we want to see you be successful, not only in this game, but also in life. Okay. So, I'm trying to see if I see anything else. How do I stay motivated? This is Soldier. How do I stay motivated to play solo arena without burning out? Is anybody having that issue? Like you're grinding, you're gaming, like you're putting in the hours, you're in creative, you're VOD reviewing, you're doing all that you can do. And it's like, man, like, how do I stay motivated, especially when I'm not seeing results? You're not really seeing the results. You're not really seeing the improvement. And it can get to a point where it's like, man, like I'm on the verge of quitting, right? Like I can't do this anymore. I'm human. First of all, I can relate. I understand. But I also think that when it gets the toughest, I honestly believe it's because you're the closest to your breakthrough than you've ever been in your life. It always gets harder. It gets harder and harder, but it gets harder and harder when you're getting better and better. It gets harder and harder when you're getting closer to taking that next big step. And so, man, if you guys feel like you're getting burnt out, I just want to encourage you to keep having the vision, keep having the dream of where you want to go and where you want to be. And also with that, it is cool to take breaks. It is cool to get some balance in your life. Like I do a lot of other things in my life and it keeps me fresh. So man, do some other stuff, man. Do some other activities, like whatever you have to do. All right. And so that's going to really help you guys out a lot. Well, anyways, love you guys. Make sure to connect with me on my Insta, Your Motivation Guy. When I leave posts, make sure you comment on those posts and I try to, respond back, as I can to you guys. and just really connect with you guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. Bunch of Crunch Army, where you at? Come on now. Keep eating that bunch of crunch, and let's get this going.